From the coup, then we will be engaging the Minister of Environment, I mean, on the recently concluded, workshop in Mansa Conco to look at challenges and achievements as well. We will also take a look at some of the achievements in 2024. It's significant for us to reflect. And we have the Honorable Minister, Rohey John Manjang, and of course, we have Mariama Ndau, Director of Central Coordination Unit. I mean, good morning to you.
Mr. Balde, we're happy to be here again. And with my able and beautiful director,
absolutely,
to hear your questions again and interact with the public.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I believe by the end of this episode, the people will get to know what the Ministry of Environment is doing. I mean, sometimes it is easy for us to sit at a corner and point out certain things without knowing deep what is happening, How are you, Mariama?
I'm fine. Good morning. And I'm happy to be here. I think this is a very important place to interact with the public for them to know what the ministry is doing and what our challenges are in terms of implementation.
Yes, but first, before we delve into the topic of discussion, let us engage our guest on the African Code. I mean, Minister, I think there was a time we engaged you on the African Code, and that was quite a very, good interpretation there. I hope today you would be able to take us through again. I live in. How do you call proverb in Wolof? Chahla? 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 I don't know. Dimale len ñu Wolof bi léegi mu ngi riir. Okay, so Julde, take us through.
So Balde, our African proverb this morning reads, "He who thinks he is leading and has no one following him is taking a walk. He who thinks is leading and has no one following him is taking a walk."
Maanaam ki nga xam ne dafa foog ne moo nekk ci kanam nit ñi yëpp ba pare kenn topput ko kooku dafa doxantu rek. Yes, so
simply that tells us that whatever we need to do with success, it has to be with a team. Just like in this case, we say a single broom doesn't make any impact. It has to be a lot of it. So if you are only working alone, you're not doing anything. But of course, exercise it. And I think all of us will be working alone. It's also important. But key to deliver results, you need a team. So it's important that you have a team behind you to give you all you have to implement.
But Honorable Minister, a team is significant, but a team that is efficient at some point. We can be a team, but what about if the team is not effective, it's not efficient?
Exactly. When they say following, meaning they're also doing what you're doing. They're following to execute. Absolutely. If they are not following, you can have a team, but if they are not following, then there is no team. When the proverb says following, if you are working alone, meaning then even you have a team, you are the only one doing it. But if it is a team, then you are definitely doing the talk with the team. So that's why then it has to follow. It's the execution. We have to, of course, efficient team is very important.
Absolutely. Yes. So, Mayama, we would like to come in. I mean, what is your own side?
One of the, and then they have a lot of these proverbs.
You're working on Jangal I proverb, Mayama.
I think that is very interesting because you've already set the bar. I mean, if you walk with a group of people that are just following you and not doing anything, you're just walking alone. And this brings on us to the statement of, they said one tree doesn't make a forest. You need a lot of trees to be called a forest. And for a leader to be able to achieve your output, you must have a team that is dedicated, engaging, motivated, and willing also to support your agenda. And which, of course, comes into how do we love ourselves, how do we love our country? Because to be able to really support your leader, you must have the patriotism in you to support your country to achieve whatever agenda is set. And that comes into also the leader has a part to play also in how do we interact with your team, how do we engage them, how do we assign responsibility, and how do we follow up. So it's a two sides of the coin. The leader has a responsibility, but the followers also have a responsibility. And each of them, when we work together, we achieve what is expected of us.
Absolutely.
Totally agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more with Auntie Rohey and Mariama. I mean, in order to actually lead, you must be a visionary leader, someone who sets the pace, someone who actually walks the talk. You can't be expected to be followed when you are not a visionary leader or you don't have anything to offer. Your team will follow you at the end of the day, but then you will not have any impact or whatsoever as far as what you are set out to achieve is concerned. So being a visionary leader, someone who actually walks the talks and someone who knows what he or she is doing will help a lot to actually set the goals as far as the organizations, institutions or groups are concerned.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's very interesting and you know, significant interpretation from the three of you. I mean, one needs to be an exemplary leader. I mean, for you to be followed.
Absolutely.
I mean, at some point, you have to make sure you are leading. And how do you lead? You need to get all those qualities to be able to lead people, you know, otherwise you'll just be walking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so viewers will take a short break. After the break, then we will continue the program. We'll be back.
Q Money ak Orange Money ñoo lëkkaloo pour yombalal leen yónnee xaalis bàyyi ko Gambia dem ba Sénégal ak Q Money wallet looy toog di xaar dawal léegi nga ubbi Q Money account pour nga mun a door di yónnee xaalis sa xarit ak sa mbokk yi jaarale ko Orange Money Sénégal léegi pour am si lu leer mun nga call Q Money customer care si 133 Q Money suñu kalpe lii dafa ànd ak sarta yuñ tëral.
Thank you very much if you're just tuning in. This is QTV This Morning and I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back again after that short break, after the proverb interpretation. Honorable Minister, let's take a look at 2024, some of the achievements of your ministry. And, you know, what can you tell us? Okay, this is what our ministry achieved in 2024. And, you know, going through it will be very significant.
Thank you so much, and then good morning again to our special viewers there and those also listening at the other end. 2024, we give all thanks and praise to Allah for seeing us through a very successful year, peaceful. Of course, challenges are part of life, but what is important that at least you have been blessed with health and a peaceful environment to execute our mandates as employee of this country. Many are called, but few are chosen. So the few of us who have the privilege to serve, we thank God for the opportunity, and also we thank the Gambians for the trust vested on us. And we use this opportunity also to seek for another blessed and successful 2025 with the team. I cannot start this without thanking my gallant men and women, the strong men and women behind me who has given me all the push I needed to arrive where we are. From the permanent secretary to the directors to the project heads and all the young staff, the support staff, even the cleaners, everybody did their individual best to have a teamwork through 2024. So 2024 has not been easy as usual because the expectation from the public is high. Thus, then the deliverables are also very stiff. But again, with a strong team and patient team, because sometimes it's not only strong, you have to be patient to work through your agendas. It was not a bad year, I can say. For the ministry, our main agenda under the YIRUA, that's the RFNDP, is two pillars. The first pillar is to the governance reform, which is very key. Before you are able to execute your mandates, you have to be guided by your legal framework. So if they are not strong, if they are not robust, if they are not also responsive to what you do, you are misleading and you will be bombarded with legal challenges. And one thing also is the case, you have to have also a guiding principle. The strategic document needs to be in place so that at least you have at least a steady focus as to what you want to achieve and how you want to do it, and of course the time frame. So we had to work on our legal frameworks, on the laws, regulation, adjust some, and some we even have to bring in new ones. 2024, we followed up on 2023 assignments to execute, but part of it is to have the National Environment Management Act, the 94 to be repealed to the 2004. Cabinet has already approved it and is now at the level of Minister of Justice to convey to the National Assembly for finalization. We also have the waste management bill that is also already done at the level of cabinet and is now at the National Assembly for the final due diligence. We also had the pesticides and harmful chemicals bill that is also done with cabinet is at the level of the judiciary. We're also working to do our biodiversity and CITES bill. It has been long, but it started sometime few years ago, but because it needs a thorough review and then also other adjustments, but it has gone through the first review, technical review, and also the legal review. Now is the final stage for the legal review. We're hopeful that we'll be able to finalize it in 2025. We also had our carbon trading bill, which has already gone through validation and is now at the judiciary for the legal review. We are working also the first National Climate Change Act is on the work. The process started in 2024, but we're hopeful to finalize it in 2025, among others, because I don't have a paper, I don't have a paper, but then these are key and core to it. The Forest Act is also under review. We did the first draft in 2024. It's now at the level of validation. We need to validate it. The strategic document is also validated, but within 2024, it started because it needed to be reviewed in 2015, 2023. So we need to work on it for the 2025 and coming to the next 5 years. So work has already started, and I think they've done the validation sometime few weeks ago, and we expect to get it finished. Even the anti-litter bill regulation is also been worked on. We also had our first the 10-year plan on the NAP. The NAP, in this case, we have National Adaptation Plan, but this one is a National Action Plan to end plastic pollution. Cabinet has approved it, and it has been launched nationally to end plastic pollution, among others, also plastic, single-use plastics, and even the bottles and all. It's a 10-year plan to progressively exit the use of plastic, but also alleviate the matters related to the environment and climate change impacts in terms of pollutions related to plastics. But among others, is also a few works to be done in-house. We're able to gazette 29 community forests. That has increased the forest size, which is a key requirement within our NDC, noting that it's one thing to also have the forest, but also at least the vegetation size is also important. So we are saying 30-30, that means by 2030 we should be able to have 30% of our land on the forest cover. It's a challenge, knowing fully well that in 2019, before 1965, Gambia's population was around less than 500,000. Coming to 1994, it clicked to a little bit around 1 million. So now we're talking about 2.4 to going towards 3 million now. So one would, and then the same size is what we have. So if we still want to maintain the same forest cover, the population is fighting against even the land that we are reserving. So that's a challenge. But again, as a government, we need to strategize. When you know that the population attention is growing to a certain area where you have forests, it's prudent to see, and then it's not only for accommodation. We will need this for our industry. We will need also for our institutions, because when population is demanding, is growing, it demands other also infrastructures, and this cannot be built on the sky. It will be built on the lands, and we have limited. So therefore, what we can do is to strategize. Where we think that the population is not growing much, we can reserve more land than to add. It's just like minus add. But I want to inform this August body that in 2020, from the 2019, this government, 2017 rather, to date, all put together, we gazetted nothing more than 200 hectares.